We're going to be talking about WWE Fastlane. It's this Sunday on the WWE Network. It's going to be a massive event. It is the last pay-per-view before WrestleMania, which is at the start of April. The event is headlined by Kevin Owens versus Goldberg for the WWE Universal Championship. How much are you looking forward to that match, Josh?
Yeah, it should be a very nice clash of styles, if you like. Obviously, Goldberg being the WCW icon back in the day, been away for a long time, and you've got Kevin Owens, who is sort of the patron of the new era, if you like, in the sense that he's been the top guy on Raw since September or August now, maybe. Should be a really good match, and I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, should be a good watch.
Are you not a little bit concerned, Joshua, that it's a little bit predictable, that it's going to be Chris Jericho most likely going to get involved in the match, cost Kevin Owens? It's going to set up Owens versus Jericho at WrestleMania, and that'll leave Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar for the title at Mania as well?
Yeah, most of the Mania matches collectively are a bit easy to predict. Like it's been sort of on the horizon for a while that AJ Styles was going to wrestle Shane McMahon. I still think that's going to be on the cards. And obviously Jericho versus Owens, as the seeds have been sown for quite a while, and it culminated in that big turn a couple of weeks ago. So I do think that's the way it's going to go down. It's a bit frustrating that you're not going to get that big surprise element in there, but yeah, it should still be good from an in-ring standpoint, having Goldberg go at it against Owens.
So what about Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman? What's your prediction for that match, Josh?
Quite a tough one. Strowman has been dominant in most of his little encounters with Reigns recently on Raw. On the last Raw before Fastlane, he was speared through the barricade, but then he came back and sort of hurled Reigns into the turnbuckle, and the rope snapped. I'm a big fan of the way they booked him since the brand split. I think he's been one of the real top guys in terms of the way they positioned him and the way they booked him ultimately. He's looked very good. When he first came in, he was quite green, and a lot of people were just of the opinion that he was just another big guy with muscles who's coming in. But over time, he's improved massively. His in-ring skill has come on leaps and bounds. His psychology, he's learning, and I think he'll be the one who comes out on top. Although with Roman Reigns, we know he's Vince McMahon's top guy, so you never know. But I think Strowman should pick up the win, and we'll see where it goes from there.
So my feeling is I think they're looking towards a Roman Reigns versus Undertaker match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So I think they will let Reigns win, make him look strong going into Mania against Undertaker, and I think they might use Strowman to cost Reigns at WrestleMania against the Undertaker. It looked like Reigns is about to win, and then cost him, and I think that would protect the Undertaker, but also could make Reigns look really strong as well. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. What about the Women's Championship? The Raw Women's Championship is between Bayley and Charlotte. Charlotte, of course, has got this amazing unbeaten record in title matches on pay-per-views, never lost. Faces Bayley, who's the new champion. What's going to happen here, do you think, Josh?
I think Charlotte will reclaim her title again and maintain that impressive unbeaten run at pay-per-views. It was slightly surprising for me to see Bayley win the title a couple of weeks back on Raw. I think with her and the character that she is, you need a long build, similar to what it was like in NXT, where she failed multiple times and eventually dug deep and managed to capture the big one. That should have been the story on the main roster for her, but it's been a bit premature in her winning the title. So I think Charlotte will be the victor here. And I think the way it's going to go down, I think Sasha Banks, who's fighting Nia Jax earlier on in the night, I think she's going to turn heel on Bayley, sort of rekindle that rivalry in NXT. And for WrestleMania, I think it'll be a fatal four-way between Charlotte, the champion, Sasha, Bayley, and Nia Jax. And it should be a good showcase for women's wrestling and what's going on the Raw brand.
I think you're spot on there. I think that's exactly what's going to happen, Josh. We'll have to wait and see until Sunday on the WWE Network for Fastlane. What about the Cruiserweight division? We've got Neville defending his title, the king of the Cruiserweights, against Jack Gallagher. Surely it should be Gallagher, but never mind. Neville versus Jack Gallagher. What have you made of the Cruiserweight division since it's moved to Raw and since they launched 205 Live?
I was a big fan of the Cruiserweight Classic when it first came about. Some of the matches, some of the stuff you were seeing there was out of this world. The commentary was great as well. Really sort of put a spotlight on the performers. And when they announced that they were making it into the Cruiserweight division on Raw, I was initially quite excited because it's obviously not been there for a while. And with what we saw in the Cruiserweight Classic, it had real potential to be something special. But we've seen that some of the characters and the performers aren't really translating with the live crowd. And I think that the two that are, obviously, in this title match in Neville, who's been brilliant since he's turned heel, a lot of fire, some great promos, he's more vicious in the ring, and Gallagher, who is very unique, and the crowd really seem to have taken to him. But all in all, I'm not sure it's gone the way they expected it to go. I think with 205 Live, they're taping it after SmackDown, which is a weird one because most of the crowd have gone home after that. I think it would have been a better fit for them to do it at Full Sail with the same sort of crowd that they performed in front of during the Cruiserweight Classic. That would have been the way to go. But as for this match, I think it should be very good from an in-ring standpoint. You've got Gallagher, who sort of adopts the World of Sport style of wrestling, and Neville, who is one of the best high flyers in the world, but he's also brought in a mean streak since he's turned heel. Should be very good, and I think the way they're going to go for WrestleMania is have Austin Aries come back in. He's been brilliant on commentary on the Cruiserweight matches. Throw him in the mix and have him versus Neville for the title at Mania to maybe open the show and get the crowd going from there on.
I wonder if they're going to do a multi-match for that, Josh. I think they're going to just try and throw like 8 205 Live guys in one match, and just because there's so many matches now on this card, and I'll be honest, I love my wrestling, but 5 hours of WrestleMania last year, it felt like it was going on forever. I wasn't able to watch it live last year, so I was watching it over days, and it felt like it was going on forever. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. One more match I want to talk to you about is for the WWE Raw Tag Team titles. It's going to be Gallows and Anderson, who finally got the belt, but they got it in a pre-show, which for me was a bit weird, at a weird time, against Sheamus and Cesaro, who I thought, all right, if Sheamus and Cesaro are finally going to take the belt off the New Day, they're going to give them a decent run with it, and they actually didn't. But this time it's going to be Gallows and Anderson taking on Enzo and Cass. Enzo and Cass have never won a tag team title together, not in WWE nor in NXT. Is this going to change on Sunday, Josh?
I don't think so. I think Gallows and Anderson will ultimately reign supreme. When they initially came in, they were both very strong with AJ Styles and the club, dominant. Then it sort of waned, and the feud with the New Day wasn't really anything special. They were sort of made to look like a laughing stock, and a lot of fans who had followed them in New Japan were disappointed with the way things were going. But since the turn of the year, things have improved. They've obviously captured the belts. Great to see them get a run with the straps, and I think they'll come out on top on Sunday, but it will be a very close one and a nice competitive old school tag team match. And I think from then on we'll probably get some sort of multi-man 4-way corner match for the tag team titles at WrestleMania.
I think I wasn't listening quite closely enough on Raw because you end up fast forwarding a lot of it, I'll be honest, but I think they mentioned that New Day are going to be the hosts of WrestleMania. I think that's what they mentioned. So I don't expect them to be involved in a match. I think they will just come out and do their little bootio skits, etc., etc. Well, Josh, it's been really good to get your thoughts on WWE Fastlane, which is this Sunday. Just before you go, Josh, why don't you tell us how we can continue to learn your great knowledge all about wrestling on any social media channels and anything else you'd like to promote, please?
Yeah, it's at Josh Lawless _ on Twitter, and you'll see my wrestling pieces and interviews with some of the biggest names in WWE and elsewhere in the world of wrestling at thesportbible.com, and you can follow the Sport Bible at TS Bible on Twitter.
Josh Lawless, wrestling journalist, thank you so much for being on Sportuccino this morning.
Thank you very much.